ॐ शुक्लांभरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। अगजानन पद्मार्कं गजाननमहर्निशम् अनेकदन्तं भक्तानाम् एकदन्तमुपास्महे। श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां श्रीहयग्रीवमुपास्महे। श्रीहयग्रीवमूर्तये नमः। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। श्रीमहासरस्वत्यै नमः। उमाकोमलहस्ताब्जसम्भावितललाटकं हिरण्यकुण्डलं वन्दे कुमारं पुष्करस्रजं। வெற்றிவேல் முருகனுக்கு ஹரஹரோஹரா. லோகவீரியம் மகாபூஜ்யம் சர்வரக்ஷாகரம் விபும் பார்வதி ஹிருதயானந்தம் சாஸ்தாரம் பிரணமாம்யகம். சுவாமியே சரணமையப்பா. वागर्ताविव सम्पृक्तौ वागर्त प्रतिपत्तये जगदः पितरौ वन्दे पार्वती परमेश्वरौ। श्री पार्वती परमेश्वराभ्यां नमः। कोमलं कूजयन् वेणुं श्यामलोऽयं कुमारकः वेदवेद्यं परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। पीताम्बरं करविराजितचक्रशङ्खकौमोदकी सरसिजं करुणासमुद्रं राधासहायम् अतिसुन्दरमन्दहासं वातालयेशम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। कृष्णो रक्षतु मां चराचरगुरुः कृष्णं नमस्ये सदा। कृष्णेनैव सुरक्षितोऽहमसकृते कृष्णाय दत्तं मनः। कृष्णादेव समुद्भवो मम विभो कृष्णस्य दासोऽस्म्यहं। कृष्णे भक्तिरचञ्चलास्तु भगवन् हे कृष्ण तुभ्यं नमः। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं। नम्राणां सन्निधत्ते सततमपि पुरस्तैरनभ्यर्थितानपि अर्थान् कामानजस्रं वितरति परमानन्दसान्द्रां गतिं च। इत्थं निःशेषलभ्यो निरवधिकफलः पारिजातो हरे त्वं क्षुद्रं तं शक्रवाटी ध्रुममभिलषति व्यर्थमर्त्यव्रजोऽयं। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं। श्रीभट्टपादम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। वंशी विभूषितकरात् नवनीरदाभात् पीताम्बरात् अरुणबिम्बफलादरोष्टात् पूर्णेन्दुसुन्दरमुखात् अरविन्दनेत्रात् कृष्णात् परं किमपि तत्त्वमहं न जाने। കൈരണ്ടും കൂപ്പി ഞാൻ വീണ്ടുമീറക്കുന്നു നീരജലോചന നിന്നോടായി. ഏതീനു മഞ്ഞനെ കുമ്പിടേണ്ടാത്തോരു രീതിയിൽ നീ എന്നെ പാലിക്കെന്നായി. കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ. Good morning, everyone. I think since we anyway have the Parayanam etc. and Vasu said that she didn't have the time, we'll skip Niki review. We'll directly jump into the class. So we'll do 70 and 71 small chapters only. So we'll finish up those off today. Okay. Ananji, you can be a student, and Anu, you can be a student. Okay, first half. So the Chakam 70. is three things, right? So Sudarshana Shapa Moksha Varnanam first, next Shankachuda Vada Varnanam second, and then Vrishabhasura Vada Varnanam. So three stories or three incidents happening in this. Okay, so this is follow the tune of the four line. Okay, stanza 1. इति त्वहि रसाकुलं रमितवल्लभे वल्लवाः कदापि पुरमम्बिका कमितुरम्बिका कानने समेत्य भवता समं निशिनिषेव्य दिव्योत्सवं सुखं सुषुपुरग्रसीद् व्रजपमुग्रनागस्तथा. So we saw about the Rasa Krida, all of that was happening in the previous stanza, the previous Dasakam, right? So what's happening here is at some point, all the Gopas, everybody, they actually go to this place, which they say is on the bank of Saraswati River. So this was because all these things were happening about 5,700 to 6,000 years back, right? So at that time, Saraswati River was still there; it had not fully dried up. So they actually end up going to this one place, to the one of the temples of Shiva to worship. So they all end up going to the northwest, right, to the banks of Saraswati, and then they pray there, and a lot of people are fasting and everything, and then they decide to spend a few nights there on the banks of Saraswati at this Shiva temple. That's why this Ambika is to the husband of Shiva. They end up going and seeing husband of Ambika. So at night, what happens is, because it's all a forest area, at night a very large snake actually comes, and everybody is sleeping, and this large snake comes, and then it ends up beginning to swallow Nandagopa. It's a big, massive python ends up coming, and then it starts swallowing Nandagopa. That's what is happening in stanza 1. Iti tvai rasakulam ramita vallabhe vallavaha, comma, kadapi. The next word, I'm going to break it into a few parts. Puram Ambika Kamitur Ambika Kanane. There are 4 parts. Puram Ambika Kamitur Ambika Kanane. So the forest name is also Ambika, and then Ambika is probably because it's maybe Shivan Parvati temple. So that forest name is Ambika, and there they went to meet the husband of Ambika, which is Shiva. So Shiva Parvati temple there. इति त्वयि रसाकुलं रमितवल्लभे वल्लवाः कदापि पुरमम्बिका कमितुरम्बिका कानने.
इति त्वयि रसाकुलं रमितवल्लभे वल्लवाः कदापि पुरमम्बिका कमितुरम्बिका कानने. इति त्वयि रसाकुलं रमितवल्लभे वल्लवाः कदापि पुरमम्बिका कमितुरम्बिका कानने.
इति त्वयि रसाकुलं रमितवल्लभे वल्लवाः कदापि पुरमम्बिका कमितुरम्बिका कानने. इति त्वयि रसाकुलं रमितवल्लभे वल्लवाः कदापि पुरमम्बिका कमितुरम्बिका कानने.
समेत्य भवता समं निशि निषेव्य दिव्योत्सवं, सुखं सुषुपुर अग्रसीद. That word, if you want to break it, sushupur agrasid brajapam ugra nagastada. So ugra is like a fierceful. So brajapam ugra nagastada. समेत्य भवता समं निशि निषेव्य दिव्योत्सवं सुखं सुषुपुरग्रसीद् व्रजपमुग्रनागस्तथा.
समेत्य भवता समं निशि निषेव्य दिव्योत्सवं सुखं सुषुपुरग्रसीद् व्रजपमुग्रनागस्तथा. समेत्य भवता समं निशि निषेव्य दिव्योत्सवं सुखं सुषुपुरग्रसीद् व्रजपमुग्रनागस्तथा.
समेत्य भवता समं निशि निषेव्य दिव्योत्सवं सुखं सुषुपुरग्रसीद् व्रजपमुग्रनागस्तदा. समेत्य भवता समं निशि निषेव्य दिव्योत्सवं सुखं सुषुपुरग्रसीद् व्रजपमुग्रनागस्तदा.
That's 2. सुमन्मुखमतोल्मुखैर् अभिहतेऽपि तस्मिन् बलात् अमुञ्चति भवत्पदे न्यपति पाहि पाहीति तैः तदा खलु पदा भवान् समुपगम्य पस्पर्शतं बभौ स च निजां तनुं समुपसाद्य वैद्याधरीम्.
Rajesh, is it a Samun or Sumun?
Samun.
Samun.
Yeah, Samun. So like we saw in the Ajamila Pakyanam, if you remember, when Ajamila at the time of his death, when he saw the Yamadutas come, he immediately called out to his son Narayana, right? So just by calling out to his son, even though he didn't intend to call the Lord came to help. Similarly here, Vasudeva, the advantage is his own son's name is Krishna. So when Vasudeva ended up getting bit by the snake, and it's a big python which began swallowing him, he of course obviously called out to Krishna, right? He just called out saying, Krishna, Krishna, pahi, pahi, please save me, because that's his son. So when he calls it out, all the other Nanda Gopas, all the other Gopas who are there, they all wake up because they're all sleeping in the middle of the night, and then they all take this, the leftover woods, logs of fire which is still burning there to keep them, at the night, and they start beating the snake, but nothing is happening. The snake is not letting him go, right? The snake is continuing to swallow him. So it's not completely swallowed; it is continuing. It's swallowing him. So at that time, Krishna then you come, O Lord, and then Pasparshatam, you just with the tip of your feet, you touch that snake with your feet. And the moment you touch that snake, then there's a person who's actually inside. That story is going to come later in next stanza. So that person, then he takes a form of a Vidyadhari, which is one of the demigods. So he then takes a form of the demigod, and the snake immediately lets go Nandagopa and attains that new form. Samun mukham athol mukhair abhihatepi. So I'll say that again. So that's a long word. So you break into three parts there. Samun mukham athol mukhair abhihatepi tasmin balat. Put a it at the end of that line and a comma. Next line da becomes a amunchati bhavat pade nyapati pahi pahiti taihi. समुन्मुखमतोल्मुखैर् अभिहतेऽपि तस्मिन् बलात् अमुञ्चति भवत्पदे न्यपति पाहि पाहीति तैः.
समुन्मुखमधोन्मुखैरभिहतेऽपि तस्मिन् बलात् अमुञ्चति भवत्पदे न्यपति पाहि पाहीति तैः. समुन्मुखमधोन्मुखैरभिहतेऽपि तस्मिन् बलात् अमुञ्चति भवत्पदे न्यपति पाहि पाहीति तैः.
समुन्मुखम् अथोल्मुखैरभिहतेऽपि तस्मिन् बलात् अमुञ्चति भवत्पदे न्यपति पाहि पाहीति तैः. समुन्मुखम् अथोल्मुखैरभिहतेऽपि तस्मिन् बलात् अमुञ्चति भवत्पदे न्यपति पाहि पाहीति तैः.
तदा खलु पदा भवान् समुपगम्य पस्पर्शतं, बभौ स च निजां तनुं समुपसाद्य वैद्याधरीम्. तदा खलु पदा भवान् समुपगम्य पस्पर्शतं बभौ स च निजां तनुं समुपसाद्य वैद्याधरीम्.
तथा खलु पदा भवान् समुपगम्य पस्पर्शतं बभौ स च निजां तनुं समुपसाद्य वैद्याधरीम्. तथा खलु पदा भवान् समुपगम्य पस्पर्शतं बभौ स च निजां तनुं समुपसाद्य वैद्याधरीम्.
Only the third line, it's Bhavan, okay? I think one time I heard Bhavan. Pada Bhavan, yeah.
Tada Khalu Pada Bhavan. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Tada Khalu Pada Bhavan Samupagamya Pasparshatam Babau Sacha Nijam Tanam Samapasadya Vaidhyadharim. Tada Khalu Pada Bhavan Samupagamya Pasparshatam Babau Sacha Nijam Tanam Samapasadya Vaidhyadharim.
Sansatri. Sudarshanadhara Prabho Nanu Sudarshanakyośmyaham Munin Kvachitapahasam Taihamam Vyadurvahasam Bhavatpada Samarpanat Amalatam Gatosmityaso Stuvan Nijapadam Yayo Brajapadam Cha Gopa Muda. So then Krishna, then when this person now comes up there, so Krishna is of course asking him, that Krishna knows who it is, but for the benefit of the Gopas, he says, that you seem like you have such great beauty, you're well decorated and all that. Who are you? You look like a very special person. So who are you, and how come you are in this body of a snake? So he then says, I am a Vidyadhara, so one of the demigods, right, who lives in the heavenly planets. He says, my name is also Sudarshana. So he says, oh wielder of the Sudarshana disc, right? That's how it starts, and says, my name is also Sudarshana, and I used to be a Vidyadhara, and I used to be extremely beautiful and and rich and everything, right? And very, well, thing. Once what happens is, and I used to be going everywhere. Once I saw a bunch of sages. So the sages being, they don't have any clothes, they are very not ordinarily clad, and they're not well dressed and everything. And then I ridiculed the sages a lot. And because of the sin that I committed of ridiculing them, I had to take this birth of a snake. Otherwise, he's actually a well normal person who's very, good and everything. But because he ridiculed them, in his next birth, he became a snake. He says now, because of just, but he says, I'm actually thankful to those sages now, because if not for those sages' curse, I wouldn't have been born as a snake. And if I was not born as a snake and then get the ability of your feet touching me, because of which I have now got liberated. So with that, he then thanks Krishna, and then he praises Krishna, and then he then goes back to his planet. Sudarshana Dhara Prabho Nanu Sudarshanakhyosmyaham. So that what you have to say together. Sudarshanakhyosmyaham, comma, Munin Kvachid Apahasam. If you want to break it, or you can say it together. Kvachid Apahasam Ta Ihamam Vyadur Vahasam.
Rajesh, is it Kwajid Ubahasam or Kwajid
Apahasam. Kvachid Apahasam.
Oh, no. Okay.
No U. Kvachit Apahasam. Or you can say Kvachida Pahasam. Sudarshanadhara Prabho Nanu Sudarshanakhyosmyaham Munin Kvachidapahasam Ta Ihamam Vyadurvahasam.
Sudarshanadhara Prabho Nanu Sudarshanakyosmyaham Munin Kvachidapahasam Ta Ihamam Vyadurvahasam. Very tongue twister. Sudarshanadhara Prabho Nanu Sudarshanakhyosmyaham Munin Kvachidapahasam Ta Ihamam Vyadurvahasam.
Sudarshana Prabho Nanu Sudarshanakhyosmyaham Munin Kvachidapahasam Ta Ihamam Vyadurvahasam. Sudarshana Prabho Nanu Sudarshanakhyosmyaham Munin Kvachidapahasam Ta Ihamam Vyadurvahasam.
Bhavat Pada Samarpanat Amalatam. If you want to break that da, Samarpanat Amalatam Gatosmityasau, comma, Stuvan Nijapadam Yayau Brajapadam Cha Gopa Muda. Bhavatpada samarpanadamalatam gatosmityasau stuvan nijapadam yayau vrajapadam cha gopa muda.
Bhavatpada samarpana tamaladam gadosmityaso stuvan nijapadam yayo vrajapadam cha gopa muda. Bhavatpada samarpana tamaladam gadosmityaso stuvan nijapadam yayo vrajapadam cha gopa muda.
Bhavatpada samarpanad amalatam gatosmityasau stuvan nijapadam yayo vrajapadam cha gopa muda. Bhavatpada samarpanad amalatam gatosmityasau stuvan nijapadam yayo vrajapadam cha gopa muda.
Stanza 4. Kadapi khalu sirina biharati tvai stri janaihi jaharadanadanuga sakila shanka chudo bhalaha atidrutamanu muktanari janam rurojita shiromanim halabhrite cha tasya dadha. So that previous one that's the liberation of Sudarshana. So that was the first 3 stanzas. Now completely new story now. So one day Krishna, Balarama, and all of their friends, the girls and boys, were all roaming around. So at that time there is one of the servant of Kubera called as Shankachuda. So I don't know why his name is Shankachuda, but must be some reference to conch somewhere, right? So this Shankachuda is actually coming, and what he does is he tries to drive away the women folks separately out. So he tries to take the women folks away, and then he starts, like, he has a stick or something, and then he tries to push them away and take them away. So at that time, so Krishna and Balarama, so they all call out to Krishna and Balarama saying, please help. So Krishna tells Balarama, you stay here, you take care of the women, I'll take care of the Shankachuda. So Krishna then starts running after this Shankachuda, and at some point he then gets rid of him, and then he has a crest, a Chuda Manim, he has a crest jewel on his head. So Krishna then brings that back, and then he then gives it to, here specifically it says, you give it to Shiromanim, that crest jewel that you have, you give it to your brother Balarama. Now, because the reason being, there are so many of other gopikas was there, he wasn't sure who to give it to, so he ends up giving that the Chudamanim to Balarama. So that's why it's a very small story only that was happening, where they try to abduct the women, and Krishna and Balarama end up saving them here. Kadapi khalu sirina viharati tvai stri janaihi. Put a visarga there, stri janaihi, comma. Next, on top of the ja, there is a here, you can remove that. Jahara dana danugaha is there. Put a is. Dana danugas sakila shanka chudo balaha. Kadapi khalu sirina viharati tvai stri janaihi jahara dana danugas sakila shanka chudo balaha.
कथापि खलु सीरणा विहरति त्वयि स्त्रीजनैः जहारदनुदानुगः सकिल चङ्गचूडो बलाः कदापि खलु सीरणा विहरति कदापि खलु सीरिणा विहरति त्वयि स्त्रीजनैः जहारदनुदानुगः सकिल चङ्गचूडो बलाः
कदापि खलु सीरिणा विहरति त्वयि स्त्रीजनैः जहारदनदानुगः सकिल शङ्खचूडो बलाः कदापि खलु सीरिणा विहरति त्वयि स्त्रीजनैः जहारदनदानुगः सकिल शङ्खचूडो बलाः.
Ati drutam anudrutas. Okay, so I'll take it again, that ma that is there. Ati drutam anudrutas tamata mukta nari janam, comma, rurojita shiromanim halabrite cha tasya dadaha. Atidrutam anudrutas tamata mukta nari janam rurojita shiromanim halabrite cha tasya dadaha.
अधिद्रुतमनुद्रुतस्तमदमुक्तनारीजनं रुरोजितशिरोमणिं हलभृते च तस्या ददाह अधिद्रुतमनुद्रुतस्तमदमुक्तनारीजनं रुरोजितशिरोमणिं हलभृते च तस्या ददाह
अतिद्रुतमनुद्रुतस्त्वमतमुक्तनारीजनं रुरोजितशिरोमणिं हलभृते च तस्या ददाह अतिद्रुतमनुद्रुतस्त्वमतमुक्तनारीजनं रुरोजितशिरोमणिं हलभृते च तस्या ददाह.
Anu, on the third line, anudrutas tamata, I think twa கேட்டது tamata
ஓ
mukta.
என் புக்ல துவா தான் இருக்கு.
Oh, okay. So can you change to ta tamata mukta narijanam?
Let me say atidrutam anudruta tamatava.
Tamata.
Oh, okay.
Okay, anudrutas is sound is there because there must have been a visarga there which becomes an is. So anudrutas tamata.
Tamata, okay.
Stanza 5. Dineshu cha suhrajjanai sahavaneshu leelaparam mano bhava manoharam rasita venunadamritam bhavantam amaridrisham amritaparanadayinam vichintya kimunalapan virahata pikta gopikaha. So it's just like more like a transition, nothing much. So here the previous story got over in one stanza itself. So here it's just saying that this way you continue to protect the Gopas and Gopikas every time, and the Gopikas also, they all continue to miss you, because during the day you used to, like we seen before, you used to go to the woods, and so they used to miss you. However, they used to hear the nectar like music which is actually coming out of your flute. That's where the amritam is coming there, the nectar like flow that is coming out of your flute. And then they used to always think about you, and they used to be always contemplating on you. So that's all. There's nothing much, just a very simple how the Gopikas continue to miss you when you go to the forest. Dineshu cha suhrij janais sah vaneshu leelaparam, manobhava manoharam rasita venu nadamritam. Dineshu cha suhrij sah vaneshu leelaparam manobhava manoharam rasita venu nadamritam.
दिनेषु च सुहृज्जने सहवनेषु लीलापरं मनोभव मनोहरं रसितवेणुनादामृतम् दिनेषु च सुहृज्जने सहवनेषु लीलापरं मनोभव मनोहरं रसितवेणुनादामृतम्
दिनेषु च सुहृज्जनैः सह वनेषु लीलापरं मनोभव मनोहरं रसितवेणुनादामृतम् दिनेषु च सुहृज्जनैः सह वनेषु लीलापरं मनोभव मनोहरं रसितवेणुनादामृतम्
Bhavantam Amari Drisham Amrita. So I'm just breaking at those masks so it's easy to say. Bhavantam Amari Drisham Amrita Parana Dayinam, Vichintya Kimu Nalapan Viraha Tapita Gopikaha. भवन्तममरीदृशाममृतपारणादायिनं विचिन्त्य किमुनालपन् विरहतापिता गोपिकाः.
भवन्तममरीदृशाममृतपारणादायिनं विचिन्त्य किमुनालपन् विरहतापिता गोपिकाः भवन्तममरीदृशाममृतपारणादायिनं विचिन्त्य किमुनालपन् विरहतापिता गोपिकाः
भवन्तममरीदृशाम् अमृतपारणादायिनं विचिन्त्य किमुनालपन् विरहतापिता गोपिकाः भवन्तममरीदृशाम् अमृतपारणादायिनं विचिन्त्य किमुनालपन् विरहतापिता गोपिकाः.
Stanza 6. So 6 to 10 becomes the two-liner tunes. Okay. Bojaraja kastvata kaschit kashta dushta pata drishtirarishtaha nishtura kritira pashtu ninadaha tishtate sma bhavate vrisharupi. So I'll say 6 and 7 together. So this one has a lot of ta sounds coming. Okay, so if anyone has problem saying ta, this will be a tough one. So Bojaraja Bhritakas Tvata Kaschit, Kashta Dushta Pata Drishtir Arishtaha. If you want to break it, Drishtir Arishtaha, end of the line. Nishtura Kritir Apashtu. If you want to break it, Nishtira Kritir Apashtu Ninadaha. That is there. Remove it. Put a visarga and a comma. Ninadaha. Tishthate sma bhavate vrisharupi. Long e. Bhojaraja brita kastvata kaschite kashta dushta pata drishtirarishtaha nishthura kritira pashtu ninadaha tishthate sma bhavate vrisharupi.
भोजराजभृतकस्त्वदत्कचित् कष्टदुष्टपददृष्टिररिष्टः निष्ठुराकृतिरपष्टुनीनदाः तिष्ठते स्म भवते वृषरूपिः रूपी.
Anji, the first line kaschit.
Kaschit.
Yeah.
Kaschit. भोजराजभृतकस्त्वदत्कचित् कश्चित् कष्टदुष्टपददृष्टिररिष्टः निष्ठुराकृतिरपष्टुनीनदाः निनादः तिष्ठते स्म भवते वृषरूपी.
भोजराजभृतकस्त्वथ कश्चित् कष्टदुष्टपथदृष्टिररिष्टः निष्ठुराकृतिरपुष्टुनिनादः तिष्ठते स्म भवते वृषरूपी भोजराजभृतकस्त्वथ कश्चित् कष्टदुष्टपथदृष्टिररिष्टः निष्ठुराकृतिरपष्टुनिनादः तिष्ठते स्म भवते वृषरूपी
Chapter 7. शाक्वरोत जगती धृतिहारी मूर्तिमेष बृहतीं प्रदधानः पंक्तिमाशु परिघूर्ण्य पशूनां छन्दसां निधिमवाप भवन्तम्. So one of this third one that is happening here, right? So this one of Kamsa's emissaries, right? So this person called Arishta. So that's why the word Arishta was coming there. So this demon Arishta, he decides to come to this village to again get rid of the Krishna. So when he comes there, so we'll see, right? The first in today we first saw a snake, python come. So now it's going to be a bull. Then the next one, when you go to the Keshi, it's going to be a horse. So there's all these different animal characters are going to come. So here this person is coming in the form of a bull. And of course, when he comes as a bull, he comes in the form of a large bull, right? So when he is actually running around, it is making the earth trembles. It's got this huge humps, and then he's making loud noise as he's actually entering the village, and he's got big eyes, and he's looking very terrifying. And with his horns, he's actually digging into the ground as he's actually running around and frightening. So when he comes into the village, the first thing he does is he tries to scare all the animals. So all the other cows and the calves, everything which are there, are all now beginning to run around. And then he starts going after the people who are on the streets. So they all start running because they get extremely scared. So they all get scared and they all approach you. And then they, and when they approach Krishna, then Krishna says, what, don't worry, I will take care. So after this, then what Krishna does is Krishna slaps he makes a noise. And when that happens, this bull gets even more angry because it's getting distracted by this noise. And so what it does is it comes rushing towards Krishna, right? Krishna is again gathering his attention. So it then comes running towards Krishna. So Shakvarota Jagati Dhriti Hari, मूर्तिमेष बृहतीं प्रदधानः पंक्तिमाशु परिगूर्ण्य पशूनां छन्दसां निधिमवाप भवन्तम्. शाक्वरोत जगती धृतिहारी मूर्तिमेष बृहतीं प्रदधानः पंक्तिमाशु परिघूर्ण्य पशूनां छन्दसां निधिमवाप भवन्तम्.
शाक्वरोध जगति धृतिहारी मूर्तिमेष बृहतीं प्रदधानः पंक्तिमाशु परिघूर्ण्य पशूनां छन्दसां निधिमवाप भवन्तम्. शाक्वरोध भवति जगति धृतिहारी मूर्तिमेष बृहतीं प्रदधानः पंक्तिमाशु परिघूर्ण्य पशूनां छन्दसां निधिमवाप भवन्तम्.
शाक्वरोत जगती धृतिहारी मूर्तिमेष बृहतीं प्रदधानः पंक्तिमाशु परिघूर्ण्य पशूनां छन्दसां निधिमवाप भवन्तम्. शाक्वरोत जगती धृतिहारी मूर्तिमेष बृहतीं प्रदधानः पंक्तिमाशु परिघूर्ण्य पशूनां छन्दसां निधिमवाप भवन्तम्.
8. तुङ्गशृङ्गमुखम् आश्वभियन्तं सङ्गृह्य रभसादभियन्तं भद्ररूपमयि दैत्यमभद्रं मर्दयन्न मदयः सुरलोकम्. तुङ्गशृङ्गमुखम् आश्वभियन्तं, if you want to break that, मुखम् आश्वभियन्तं, सङ्गृह्य रभसादभियन्तं भद्र रूपम् अपि दैत्यम् अभद्रं, मर्दयन्न मदयः is there, put is madayah suralokam. तुङ्गशृङ्गमुखम् आश्वभियन्तं संगृह्य रभसादभियं तं भद्ररूपमयि दैत्यम् अभद्रं मर्दयन्न मदयसुरलोकम्.
The third line it said Bhadra Rupa Mapi or Mai.
Mapi, api.
Okay.
Api, Bhadra Rupamapi.
Thank you. Tungasringamukhamashvabhiyantam Sangrahaya Brabhasadabhiyantam Bhadrarupamapi Daityamabhadram Mardayannamadayassuralogam Tungasringamukhamashvabhiyantam Sangrahaya Brabhasadabhiyantam Bhadrarupamapi Daityamabhadram Mardayannamadayassuralogam.
तुङ्गशृङ्गमुखमाश्वभियन्तं सङ्गृह्य रभसादिभियन्तं भद्ररूपमपि दैत्यमभद्रं मर्दयन्न मदयः सुरलोकम्.
Anu, on the second line, Rabasada Bhiyam. I heard some other sound there. That's what you have, right? Rabasada Bhiyam.
Rabasadabiyantam. Yes. Tungashrungamukhamashvabhiyantam sangrihya rabasadabiyantam bhadrarupamapi daityamabhadram mardayanna madayassuralokam.
Chitramadhya Bhagavan Vrishaghatat Sustirajani Vrishastiriurvyam Vardate cha Vrishachetasi Bhuyan Modayitya Bhinutosi Suraistvam. So essentially this bull now is raising his horns and he decides to attack Krishna and he starts running towards it. So you'll see some pictures of Krishna like kind of wrestling with a bull, you know, in some places you might have seen. So that is, you know, it's either this, or if you remember in one of the Swayamvaras, like we saw, you know, he wrestles with 7 bulls, that is to defeat them or tame them. So if it is in the 7 Krishna, then it is that. If you see in any picture Krishna taming one bull, it is this case, right? So anyway, he controls the bull and then he gets rid of the bull. So although this Asura was inauspicious, he is coming in the form of an auspicious bull, right? Which is Krishna is called Govinda, right? He's a protector of the cows and the bulls. But because the Asura was in there, he had to get rid of that bull. So when that happens, you know, in the stanza 9, Bhattacharya being a poet is just playing with his words. He's using the word Vrisha in 3 possibilities. One, Vrisha could be the bull, one it is a Dharma, one it is Indra. So he says, so you established Vrisha, Dharma, by getting rid of Vrisha, which is a bull, because of which Vrisha, which is Indra, and the gods are praising you a lot, right? So that's what in this stanza, that's why some of these things in stanza 6, we saw a lot of ta coming, right? It's all just a poetic strength that he's just playing with words, right? For us, we find it tough, but for him, it's like he's just enjoying writing his poetry, right? So anyway, so that's what is happening. So this person is getting, this Vrishabhasura is getting rid of, and then all the gods are praising him.
So, one minute. So, Vrishabh meaning is bull or Indra or what else?
No, Vrishabh is Vrishabha is bull, right? Vrishabha.
Yeah.
Vrishabha Rasi, we say very loosely, right? So that is one is bull. But Vrisha also means Dharma, it also means Indra.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But what we commonly use, Vrishabha, that Vrisha is the root word for bull.
Right.
Chitra Madhya Bhagavan Vrishaghatat, comma, Sustirajani Vrisha Stithir Urvyam. Okay, I'll break it again. Vrisha Stithir Urvyam. Vardate cha Vrisha Chetasi Bhuyan, comma, Moda Ityabhinutosi Surais Tvam. Chitramadhya Bhagavan Vrishaghatat Sustirajani Vrisha Sthitirurvyam Vardate cha Vrisha Chetasi Bhuyan Moda Ityabhinutosi Suraistvam.
Chitramadhya Bhagavan Vrishaghatat Sustirajani Vrishasthidir Urvyam Vardate cha Vrishachetasi Bhuyan मोदयित्यभिनुतोऽसि सुरेस्तं चित्रमद्य भगवन् वृषगादाद् सुस्थिराजनिवृषस्थितिर्उर्व्यां वर्धते च वृषचेदसि भूयान् मोदयित्यभिनुतोऽसि सुरैस्ताम्
चित्रमद्य भगवन् वृषगातात् सुस्थिराजनिवृषस्थितिरुर्व्यां वर्धते च वृषचेतसि भूयान् मोद इत्यभिनुतोऽसि सुरैस्त्वम् चित्रमध्य भगवन् वृषगातात् सुस्थिराजनिवृषस्थितिरुर्व्यां वर्धते च वृषचेतसि भूयान् मोद इत्यभिनुतोऽसि सुरैस्त्वम्
Stanza 10. औक्षकानि परिधावत दूरं वीक्ष्यतामयमिहोक्ष विभेदी इत्थमात हसितैः सह गोपैः गेहगस्त्वमववात पुरेश. Just a concluding thing. So because they anyway take care of the bulls and the cows and everything, right? These gopas. So that's what they spend all their time with. So all the gopas are just making fun of Krishna by saying, that all bulls run away, because this person he's a slayer of a bull, right? He just got rid of a bull. So all of you should run away from this Krishna. Up in the sim that way, all these gopas are making fun of you. Oh Vata Puresha, oh Lord of Guruvayur, please protect me. औक्षकानि परिधावत दूरं, वीक्ष्यताम् ayam, if you want to break it, वीक्ष्यताम् ayam ihoksha vibhedi. Okay, the three parts there. Vikshyatam ayam ihoksha vibhedi. Ittamata hasitaihi is there. Put is hasitais saha gopaihi. So put a visarga and a comma there. The next word on top of that geha, there is a ir, you can remove that. Geha gas twamava vata puresha. औक्षकानि परिधावत दूरं वीक्ष्यतामयमिहोक्ष बिभेदी इत्थमात हसितैः सह गोपैः गेहगस्त्वमववात पुरेश.
औषकानि परिधावत दूरं वीक्ष्यतामयमिहोष बिभेदी इद्धमात हसितैस्तः गोपैः गेहगस्त्वमववाद पुरेश. औषकानि परिधावद दूरं वीक्ष्यतामयमिहोष बिभेदी इद्धमात हसितैः सह गोपैः गेहगस्त्वमववाद पुरेश.
औक्षकानि परिधावत दूरं वीक्षतामयमिहोक्ष विभेदी इत्थमात हसितैः सह गोपैः गेहगस्त्वमववात पुरेश. औक्षकानि परिधावत दूरं वीक्षतामयमिहोक्ष विभेदी इत्थमात हसितैः सह गोपैः गेहगस्त्वमववात पुरेश.
Shri Krishnaya Parabrahmane Namaha completes it. So we'll go to 71. That's also a pretty small chapter only. So Vani, you can be student, and Vasu, you can be student. Okay. Stanza 1. So this also every 2 lines we'll kind of cover the meaning. Yet, so this is Keshi Vada Varnanam and Vyomasura Vada Varnanam. Again, 2 incidents here. यत्नेषु सर्वेष्वपि नावकेशी केशी स भोजे क्षितिरिष्टबन्धुः त्वां सिन्धुजावाप्य इतीव मत्वा सम्प्राप्तवान् सिन्धुजवाजिरूपः. यत्नेषु सर्वेष्वपि नावकेशी केशी स भोजेशितुर ishta, if you want to break it, bhoje shitur ishta bandhuhu tvam sindhu javapya itiva matva, sampraptavan sindhuja vaji rupaha.
That is third line. Twamma, twama.
Tvam.
Twam then? Okay.
Tvam. Yeah.
Sure.
Yatneshu sarve. Sorry, somebody had a question.
இல்ல துவம் தான் போட்டிருக்கு அதனால
ஓ துவாம் சிந்துஜானம் போட்டிருக்கு. Nobody
Ennodlayum Tvam தான் போட்டிருக்கு.
Okay, change it to Twam because it's approaching you. So another Twam only will come there.
Okay.
Okay.
यत्नेषु सर्वेष्वपि नावकेशी केशी स भोजेशितुरिष्टबन्धुः त्वां सिन्धुजावाप्य इतीव मत्वा सम्प्राप्तवान् सिन्धुजवाजिरूपः
यत्नेषु सर्वेष्वपि नावकेशी केशी स भोजेशितुर् इष्टबन्धुः त्वां सिन्धुजावाप्य इतीव मत्वा सम्प्राप्तवान् सिन्धुजवाजिरूपः यत्नेषु सर्वेष्वपि नावकेशी केशी स भोजेशितुर् इष्टबन्धुः त्वां सिन्धुजावाप्य इतीव मत्वा सम्प्राप्तवान् सिन्धुजवाजिरूपः
यत्नेषु सर्वेष्वपि नावकेशी केशी च भोजे शितुरिष्टबन्धुः त्वां सिन्धुजावाप्य इतीव मत्वा सम्प्राप्तवान् सिन्धुजवाजिरूपः यत्नेषु सर्वेष्वपि नावकेशी केशी च भोजे शितुरिष्टबन्धुः त्वां सिन्धुजावाप्य इतीव मत्वा सम्प्राप्तवान् सिन्धुजवाजिरूपः.
Stanza 2. गन्धर्वतामेष गतोऽपि रूक्षैर्नादैः समुद्वेजित सर्वलोकः भवद्विलोकावधिगोपवाटीं प्रमर्द्य पापः पुनरापतत्वाम्. So it starts off by saying there are two words, Navakeshi and Keshi is coming, right? So Avakeshi means somebody who's never been unsuccessful in anything that person has done, is always been successful. That is that Na Avakeshi, first part. Then the Keshi is the name of the person, right? So this Keshi is actually a close friend of Kamsa. So this slight change in the sense in Narayaneeyam, later on Narada is going and telling Kamsa about Krishna and everything. And in Bhagavatam, that just comes few stanzas before this. So before Keshi comes, Narada is going and telling, and then Keshi is coming. But doesn't matter anyway, either way. So Keshi is coming. So this Keshi is again a close friend of Kamsa. So he then decides to come and again, same thing, get rid of Krishna and Balarama. And he who has been Na Avakeshi has never been unsuccessful in anything. So he is now coming because that is the last resort to say, how do you get rid of Krishna? And even here, the word Sindhuja is getting used very nicely in two different meanings. So one is, he's saying this horse is from the Sindhu region, because they are very, because from the Afghanistan area, the Sindhu area, they are known to breed horses really well, right? So he's like a powerful horse, as if he's coming from the Sindhu region. That is the first use of the word Sindhu. The second word, Sindhuja, that is the word used there. Second meaning of Sindhu is ocean. So he's saying, Bhattipa is saying, because you are nice to people who come from Sindhu, from the ocean, which is Lakshmi Devi came from the ocean. So because you are nice to people who have come from Sindhu, this horse who has come from the Sindhu region felt like he could come and approach you easily. So that is the way he's just playing with words, but essentially the horse is coming, right? This Keshi is coming in the form of a horse, and a very powerful horse. So when he comes there, and then like it happened in the previous thing, like the bull came, this horse is also coming, massive size, right? And although the horse is again the second stanza also is using the word Gandharva in two different meanings. Gandharva means the Gandharvas, who are the demigods who we've been seen before, who are supposed to have very nice music and talented from that perspective. Gandharva could also mean in this case, it also means a horse. So he says, although this Gandharva, the horse, is coming, he's neighing, right? The horse is neighing. He's neighing in a very loud and scary voice, unlike the other Gandharvas who are much more melodious. So he's just comparing. Essentially, this horse is coming, neighing around and running around the town, just like the bull did the last time, and then trying to scare everybody out. So Gandharva tam esha gatopi rukshair, and then put a plus. Rukshair plus Nadaihi is there, put a is Nadais samudvejita sarva lokaha bhavat विलोकावधि गोपवाटीं, comma, प्रमर्द्य पापः, put a F, पापः पुनरापतत् त्वाम्। गन्धर्वतामेश गतोऽपि रूक्षैर्नादैः समुद्वेजितः सर्वलोकः भवद्विलोकावधि गोपवाटीं प्रमर्द्य पापः पुनरापतत् त्वाम्।
गन्धर्वतामेष गतोऽपि रूक्षैर्नादैः समुद्वेजित सर्वलोकः भवद्विलोकावधिगोपवाटीं प्रमध्य पापः पुनरापतत् त्वाम्। गन्धर्वतामेष गतोऽपि रूक्षैर्नादैः समुद्वेजित सर्वलोकः भवद्विलोकावधिगोपवाटीं प्रमद्य पापः पुनरापतत् त्वाम्।
गन्धर्वतामेष घतोऽपि रोक्षैर्नादैः समुद्वेजित सर्वलोकः भवद्विलोकावधिगोपवाटीं प्रमृध्य पापः पुनरापतत् त्वाम्.
Vasu on the first line, रूक्षे, रू long.
Okay. Shorta சொல்லிட்டேனோ?
ஆமா, ஷார்ட்டா கேட்டது. ஆமா.
Okay. गन्धर्वतामेष घतोऽपि रूक्षैर्नादैः समुद्वेजित सर्वलोकः भवद्विलोकावधिगोपवाटीं प्रमर्ध्य पापः पुनरापतत् त्वाम्.
Stanza 3. तार्क्ष्यापिताङ्ग्रेस्तव तार्क्ष्य एषः चिक्षेप वक्षो भुवि नामपादं भृगोः पदाघातकथां निशम्य स्वेनापि शक्यं तदितीव मोहात्. So तार्क्ष्यापिताङ्ग्रेस्तव तव. So Tarkshyapita Angriye. So multiple words are coming there. So the best way is to say the whole thing together. Tarkshyapitangres Tava Tarkshya Eshaha. So put a visarga there if you don't have it, and then a comma. Chikshepa Vakshobhuvi Nama Padam Bhrigoho. Put a F, Bhrigov Padaghata Katam Nishamya, comma. Svenapi Shakyam Taditiva Mohat.
sorry, taditīvan போட்டிருக்கு. ததி or not?
ஆமா, taditiva.
Okay. Okay.
तार्क्ष्यापिताङ्ग्रेस्तव तार्क्ष्य एषः चिक्षेप वक्षो भुवि नामपादं भृगोः पदाघातकथां निशम्य स्वेनापि शक्यं तदितीव मोहात्.
तार्क्ष्यार्पिताङ्घ्रेस्तव तार्क्ष एषः चिक्षेप वक्षो भुवि नामपादं भृगोः पदाघात कथां निशम्य स्वेनापि शक्यं तदितीव मोहात्. तार्क्ष्यार्पिताङ्घ्रेस्तव तार्क्ष एषः चिक्षेप वक्षो भुवि नामपादं भृगोर्पदाघात कथां निशम्य स्वेनापि शक्यति तदितीव मोहात्.
शक्यं, last line.
सेनापि शक्यं तदितीव मोहात्.
तार्क्ष्यापिताङ्घ्रेस्तव तार्क्ष्य एषः चिक्षेप वक्षो भुवि नामपादं भृगोः पदाघातकथां निशम्य स्वेनापि शक्यं तदितीव मोहात्. तार्क्ष्यापिताङ्घ्रेस्तव तार्क्ष्य एषः चिक्षेप वक्षो भुवि नामपादं भृगोः पदाघातकथां निशम्य स्वेनापि शक्यं तदितीव मोहात्.
Stanza 4. प्रवञ्चयन्नस्य खुराञ्चलं द्राक् अमुञ्च चिक्षेपित दूरदूरं सम्मूर्छितोऽपि ह्यतिमूर्छितेन क्रोधोष्मना खादितुम् आदृतस्त्वाम्. So again, like we said, in a lot of cases, but is just using the same Sanskrit. some animals, some sun, earth, horse, animals are multiple names, multiple words to describe that, right? So here, even in this, that's why the word Tarksha is coming 2 times. One, Tarksha also means Garuda. It has also come in some other stanzas, some other chapters before. So he says, you who has kept your feet on the Garuda. So to you, this Tarksha, this horse, right, is now coming running towards Krishna. And then what he tries is, he tries to kick you with his front 2 feet on your chest. Because again, like we saw, like how we said earlier, saying because this person has come from Sindhu, you are always nice to people who have come from Sindhu. This horse is also trying to thinks that you'll be nice to him. Similarly, he says, when Brigu kicked you in your chest, you did not retaliate. So similarly, this horse also thought it is okay to kick you in the chest. So this Tarksha is trying to kick you in the chest with his 2 front foot, right? So however, this horse is not Brigu, right? So Krishna did not take that shot in his chest. He dodged that Keshi's blow, and then what he did is he then takes his feet and then he throws him away in a distance. He grabs him by his feet and then throws him away. However, Keshi is now coming to retaliate. He's coming running towards Krishna again, as if he's going to eat Krishna up. Pravancha yennasya kuranchalam drak. The ga that is there, we're going to break it. First put a ik under comma, drak, comma. The next word starts with the a. Amuncha chikshepita dura duram sam murchitopi hyati murchitena. That ha and half ha and then ya, hya. Hyati murchitena, comma. Krodoshmana khaditum adrutas tvam. The ma you can break. Khaditum adrutas tvam. प्रवञ्चयन्नस्य खुराञ्चलं द्राक अमुञ्च चिक्षेपितदूरधूरं सम्मूर्छितोऽपि ह्यतिमूर्छितेन क्रोधोष्मना खादितुम् आदृतस्त्वाम्.
Rajesh ji, after the sa, is there a sam or is it samurchida? My book has sa and then space murchidobi. So is there a sam?
Yeah. Im is there. Sammurchitopi.
Okay.
Yeah. Prapanchayannasya karanchalandrak amuncha chikshepitha दूरदूरं सम्मूर्छितोऽपि ह्यतिमूर्छितेन क्रोधोष्मणा खादितुमादृतस्त्वाम्. प्रपञ्चयन्नस्य खुराञ्चलन्द्राक् अमुञ्च चिक्षेपितदूरदूरं सम्मूर्छितोऽपि ह्यतिमूर्छितेन क्रोधोष्मणा खादितुमादृतस्त्वाम्.
Khaditum, if you break it, then you have to say adrutasthvam, or you say the whole thing together. Right?
Khaditumādrutastvām.
Yeah.
Okay.
प्रवञ्चयन्नस्य खुराञ्चलं द्राक् अमुञ्च चिक्षेपितधूरदूरं सम्मूर्छितोऽपि ह्यतिमूर्छितेन क्रोधोष्मना खादितुमादृतस्त्वाम्. प्रवञ्चयन्नस्य खुराञ्चलं द्राक् अमुञ्च चिक्षेपितधूरदूरं सम्मूर्छितोऽपि ह्यतिमूर्छितेन क्रोधोष्मना खादितुमादृतस्त्वाम्.
Sounds so fine. त्वं वाहदण्डे कृतधीश्च वाहादण्डं न्यदास्तस्य मुखे तदानीं तद्वृद्धिरुद्धश्वसनो गतासुः सप्ती भवन्नप्ययम् ऐक्यमागात्. त्वं वाहदण्डे कृतधीश्च वाहा, and then put a plus, dandam nyadhas tasya mukhe tadanim tad vriddhi ruddha shwasano gatasuhu, comma, sapti bhavan napyayam. So that is sapti bhavan apyayam, but it becomes a double na there, so you have to say it together. Sapti bhavan napyayam aikyam agat. त्वं वाह दण्डे कृतधीश्च वाह दण्डं न्यधास्तस्य मुखे तदानीं तद्वृद्धिरुद्धश्वसनो गतासुः सप्ती भवन्नप्ययम् ऐक्यमागात्
त्वं वाह दण्डे कृतधीश्च वाह दण्डं न्यधास्तस्य मुखे तदानीं तद्वृद्धिरुद्धश्वस नो गतासुः सप्ती नप्ययमैक्यमागात् त्वं वाह दण्डे कृतधीश्च वाह दण्डं न्यधास्तस्य मुखे तदानीं तद्वृद्धिरुद्धश्वस नो त्वशनो गतासुः सप्ती भवन्नप्ययमैक्यमागात्
त्वां वाह दण्डे कृतदेश्च वाह दण्डं न्यदास्तस्य मुखे तदानीं तद्वृद्धिरुद्धश्वसनो गताशुः सप्ती भवानप्ययम् இல்ல सप्ती भवन नप्ययमैक्यमाघात्
सप्ती भवन्नप्ययम् ऐक्यम् आगात्. Easy to break it that way.
Okay. Sapti bhavannapyayam aikyamaghat.
You put an extra ya. Rendu ya da. Sapti bhavannapyayam.
Napya. Okay. Seri.
Okay. And the first, sorry, and the first word on you said twam. It is twam.
Tvam. Okay. Tvam vaha dande. Sorry. Correct. Tvam vaha dande kritadischa vaha dhandam nyadastasya mukhe tadhanim tadvriddhiruddhas swasano gatashuhu sapti bhavan napya எங்கேயோ தப்பு பண்றேன் நப்யயம் ஐக்கமாகாத்.
Correct. And the aikyam agat. So on the aikyam, so to merge, right? So I remember that. So sapti bhavannapyayam aikyam agat. You can just for now, right? Just say,
Okay.
Answer 6. So the twam, right? It's very simple. Okay. When you is used as a subject, then it is twam. Okay. So tvam vahadande, you put your hand into the mouth, then you are a subject, it's tvam. When this keshi is approaching you, like in the first stanza, tvam sindhujavapya itiva matva we saw, right? That is it, the horse is approaching you, so you become the object now, then it becomes tvam.
Okay.
That is a simple thing. So here only it's a tvam because you are doing the action, right? You are the subject here. So stanza 6. आलम्बमात्रेण पशोऽसुराणां प्रसादके नूत्न इवाश्वमेधे कृते त्वया हर्षवशात् सुरेन्द्राः त्वां तुष्टुवुः केशवनामधेयम्. So, like he said, when the Krishna then picked up Keshi and he threw it several hundred feet, and the horse then comes running. So then, tvam vahadande, you then put your arm or your fist into the mouth of the horse. And this Keshi is also supposed to be very fearful. It's got large teeth which are also protruding out. So essentially, you break the teeth and you put the hand in, and essentially then you liberate Keshi, and that's why Keshi eventually, when he's liberated, Sapta Aikyam Agat, he then gets liberated and then merged into you. So when this happens, so although he was in the form of a horse, he has now attained, his Keshi has attained liberation. And like we said, this Keshi is also a very powerful asura because he's, like we said, na akeshi, he's never been unsuccessful, right? So all the devas and all got very happy, as if you were performing an Ashwamedha yaga, because with the horse, as if it was like that, right? It was as if you were performing a yaga, you liberated the devas also by getting rid of this Keshi. So because of that, they gave you the name Keshava. So that is how the name Keshava is coming, the one who got rid of Keshi. So that's why Tom Tushtuvu Keshava Namadheyam, you are conferred the name of Keshava here. So alamba matrena pashoho, put is pasho suranam, comma, prasadake nutna ivashwamedhe krite tvaya harsha vashat surendraha. That is there, remove it, put a visarga, surendraha, comma, tvam tushtuvuhu is there, put a ich, tushtuvuh keshava nama dheyam. आलम्भमात्रेण पशोऽसुराणां प्रसादके नूत्न इवाश्वमेधे कृते त्वया हर्षवशात् सुरेन्द्राः त्वां तुष्टुवुः केशवनामधेयम्.
आलम्बमात्रेण पशुसुराणां प्रसादके नूत्न इवाश्वमेधे कृते त्वया हर्षवशात् सुरेन्द्राः त्वां तुष्टुवुः केशवनामधेयम्. आलम्भमात्रेण पशुसुराणां प्रसादके नूत्न इवाश्वमेधे कृते त्वया हर्षवशात् सुरेन्द्राः त्वां तुष्टुवुः केशवनामधेयम्.
आलम्भमात्रेण पशोऽसुराणां प्रासादके नूत्न इवाश्वमेधे कृते त्वया हर्षवशात् सुरेन्द्राः त्वां तुष्टुवुः केशवनामधेयम्.
And the second line was the first word prasadake.
Okay. நான் பிராசாதக்கே சொல்லிட்டேனோ?
ஆமா ஆமா.
Okay, okay. आलम्भमात्रेण पशोऽसुराणां प्रसादके नूत्न इवाश्वमेधे कृते त्वया हर्षवशात् सुरेन्द्राः त्वां तुष्टुवुः केशवनामधेयम्.
ராஜேஷ், அது பிராசாதக்கேன்னு இருக்கு, ஆனா பிரசாதக்கே தான் சொல்லணுமா?
பிரசாதக்கே தான் எனக்கு இருக்கு.
இல்ல அது இங்கிலீஷ்ல பிரான் கொடுத்திருக்கான், சான்ஸ்கிரிட்ல பிரா கொடுத்திருக்கான். சோ
பிராசாதக்கேன்னு கொடுத்திருக்கு.
ஆமாமா.
ஆனா சான்ஸ்கிரிட்ல வந்து பிரசாதக்கேன்னு இருக்கு. கரெக்ட்.
அது அதுக்கப்புறம் நான் சொன்னப்பதான் என்னடா அது தப்பா சொல்றேனோ அப்படின்னு I was thinking, but no.
Yeah, பிரசாதக்கே only. Stanza 7. कंसायते शौरि सुतत्वमुक्त्वा तं तद्वधोत्कं प्रतिरुध्य वाचा प्राप्तेन केशिक्षपनावसाने श्रीनारदेन त्वमभिष्टुतो भूः. So कंसाय ते शौरि सुतत्वम उक्त्वा comma तं तद्वधोत्कं प्रतिरुध्य वाचा प्राप्तेन केशि क्षपनावसाने comma श्री नारदेन त्वम अभिष्टुतो. If you want to break it, you can say त्वम अभिष्टुतो भूः. कंसायते शौरि सुतत्वमुक्त्वा तं तद्वधोत्कं प्रतिरुध्य वाचा प्राप्तेन केशि क्षपनावसाने श्रीनारदेन त्वमभिष्टुतो भूः.
कंसायते शौरिसुतत्वमुक्त्वा तं तद्वधोक्तं प्रतिरुध्य वाचा प्राप्तेन केशिक्षपणावसाने श्रीनारदेन त्वमभिष्टुतो भूः. कंसायते शौरिसुतत्वमुक्त्वा तं तद्वधोक्त प्रतिरुध्य वाचा प्राप्तेन केशिक्षपणावसाने श्रीनारदेन त्वमभिष्टुतो भूः.
कंसायते कंसायस्ते शौरिसुतत्वाम् उक्त्वा तं तद्वधोक्तं प्रतिरुध्य वाचा प्राप्तेन केशशपनावसाने श्रीनारदेन त्वमभिष्टुतो भूः. कंसायते शौरि கரெக்டா சொல்றேன் அந்த வார்த்தையை? ஓகே. कंसायते शौरिसुतत्वम् उक्त्वा तं तद्वधोक्तं प्रतिरुध्य वाचा प्राप्तेन केशशपनावसाने श्रीनारदेन त्वमभिष्टुतो भूः.
Yeah. Stanza 8. Kadapi gopais sah kananante nilayana kridanalolupam tvam mayatmajah prapadurantamayo vyomabhido vyomacharoparodhi. So what's happening is, after this, like I said, slightly different the sequence of events, but doesn't matter. Here it says after Keshi getting it, so Narada is now visiting Kamsa because now he finds the time is ready, right? So Narada, he's always there to kind of set things in motion, right? When something is not going the right direction, you have to steer somebody, then Narada is there. So he's going and telling Kamsa that, this Devaki first had a boy. You thought it was a girl, but it was actually a boy. And that boy is a Rama who's staying in Nandagopa's house. Then the eighth child of seventh, what you thought was dead, right? That born as a dead child. Eighth, what you thought was a girl, is actually Krishna, who's the one who's actually staying there, and he's the one who's been getting rid of all of your Putana and all of the people that have been going there. He's the one who's actually getting rid of that. So he's the eighth born child. So Narada goes and tells. So immediately Kamsa gets angry, and then he goes to kill Vasudeva. So then Narada says, no use killing Vasudeva. What is the use? The 8th point child is Krishna. So you have to figure out how to get rid of him. No use of hurting Vasudeva. However, Kamsa, what if you remember, when the 8th child was moved, and then Devi comes, and Kamsa tries to smash on the stone, Devi goes up and all that. Kamsa then repents that I made a mistake, right, of trying to kill this girl, and he's also a little scared, because that's why we saw the Ashtabhuja, the Devi comes and shows him the form and says, your person is still born, right? So he frees Vasudeva and Devaki at that point. So now he takes them as prisoners again, because he now realizes that they cheated him, right? So he takes Vasudeva and Devaki as prisoners again, and then Kamsa, then that's when he resummons all of his people, and then says that we are going to put a very clear plan of how to get rid of Krishna now, right? It has to be much more in a planned approach. That little bit of that is going to come in the 72. So anyway, so Narada then ends up visiting Krishna, right? He ends up visiting Krishna and then just paying, because he's come here, so he visits Krishna, pays his homage, and then he leaves. So at certain points, Narada keeps coming. If you remember, when Krishna rescues all those wives, all the women from Narakasura, then Narada again visits, right? At the time, he visits him in Dwaraka. So here, Narada visits Krishna in Vrindavan, right? And then he praises you. Narada comes and praises you. So that is happening in 7. So then in 8, as one of the other Kamsa then sends this person called as a Vyoma, who's like a magician who can actually disguise himself in different forms. So one day these boys were actually playing this game of where one set of people are the thieves, one set of boys are the calves, pretend to be calves, and then these thieves steal the calves, and then the other set of boys are the police who are supposed to catch them. So they were playing that games. So at this time, this Vyoma now comes disguised as one of the thieves, as one of the boys who is like a thief to steal away the cows, right? That's what he comes disguised as. So Kadapi Gopaihi, putta is Gopais Saha Kananante, Nilayana Kridana Lolupam Tvam Mayatmajaha, put F Mayatmajah Prapa Duranta Mayo, Vyoma Bhido Vyoma Charopa Rodhi. Kadapi Gopais Sahakananante Nilayana Kridanalolupam Tvam Mayatmajah Prapa Duranta Mayo Vyoma Bhido Vyoma Charopa Rodhi.
कदापि गोपैः सह काननान्ते निलायन क्रीडनलोलुपं त्वां मयात्मजः प्राप दुरन्तमायो व्योमाभिदो व्योमचरोपरोधी कदापि गोपैः सह काननान्ते निलायन क्रीडनलोलुपं त्वां मयात्मजः प्राप दुरन्तमायो व्योमाभिधो व्योमचरोपरोधी
कदापि गोपै सह काननान्ते निलायन क्रीडनलोलुपं त्वां मयात्मजः प्राप दुरन्तमायो व्योमाभिधो व्योमचरूपरोधी कदापि गोपैः सह काननान्ते नीलायनक्री दनलोलुपं त्वां मायात्मजः प्राप दुरन्तमायो व्योमाभिधो व्योमचरूपरोधी.
Stanza 9. सचोरपालायितवल्लवेषु चोरायितो गोपशिशून् पशूंश्च गुहासु कृत्वा पिदते शिलाभिः त्वया स बुद्ध्वा परिमर्दितो भूत्. So because this Vyomasura is pretending to be one of the gopas who's the thief, and then stealing the other gopas who are pretending to be calves, and then he keeps doing all this, but what he's doing is he's taking all of them and going and shutting them in a cave, right? And then he has a big boulder or stone which is actually blocking the cave. So he keeps doing it until only very few gopas are left. At that time, Krishna then finally comes saying, okay, this is the time, and then he gets rid of, at that time Krishna grabs Vyomasura, because he's also, like I said, he's like a magician, he can change his form, right? So he then changed the form from a gopa to another big asura, who then Krishna eventually gets rid of and also frees all the gopa boys and the calves and everybody who this Vyomasura had taken. Sa chora palayita vallaveshu, chorayito gopa shishun pashumscha guhasu kritva pidadhe shilabhihi. That is there, remove it, visarga under comma, shilabhihi, comma, tvaya cha buddhva parimardito bhut. सचोरपालायितवल्लवेषु चोरायितो गोपशिशून् पशूंश्च गुहासु कृत्वापि दधे शिलाभिः त्वया च बुद्ध्वा परिमर्दितो भूत्.
सचोरपालायितवल्लवेषु चोरायितो गोपशिशून् पशूंश्च गुहासु कृत्वापि दधे शिलाभिः त्वया च बुद्ध्वा परिमर्दितो भूः.
भूत् परिमर्दितो भूत्.
परिमर्दितो भूत्. सचोरपालायितवल्लवेषु चोरायितो गोपशिशून् पशूंश्च गुहासु कृत्वापि दधे शिलाभिः त्वया च बुद्ध्वा परिमर्दितो भूत्.
सचोरपालायितवल्लवेषु चोरायितो गोपशिशून् पशूंश्च गुहासु कृत्वापि ददे शिलाभिः त्वया च बुद्ध्वा परिमर्दितो भूत्. सचोरपालायितवल्लवेषु चोरायितो गोपशिशून् पशूंश्च गुहासु कृत्वापि ददे शिलाभिः त्वया च बुद्ध्वा परिमर्दितो भूत्.
And Vasu, in the second line, second time I heard something, pashumscha, there's a ish also coming there, pashumscha.
Okay.
Stanza 10. Evam vedaischadbhutakelibedaiः आनन्दमूर्च्छामतुलां व्रजस्य पदे पदे नूतनयन्न सीमां paratmarupin pavaneshapayah. So somebody is saying in this way, adbhuta, all these wonderful keli bedehi, sportive deeds you have done. So not once, but so many such things you have actually done, right, Krishna? For what? Ananda Murcha, to keep the Vraja, to the people of Vraja, the Gopas, Gopikas, to keep them happy, right? You actually done all these leelas which are incomparable, right? And also which are like, unlimited of these deeds you have done, which are also cannot be compared to anything else. And you always made sure that they actually remain happy and constantly doing this on a regular basis. Every now and then you've been doing it. Similarly, Paratma Rupin Pavanesha Payaha, O Lord of Guru, please eradicate my ailments also. Evam Vidaish Chadbhuta Keli Bedaihi. The Ra that is there, remove it, put a Visarga and a comma. Bedaihi. Next time it becomes A. Ananda Murcham Atulam. If you want to break it, Murcham Atulam Vrajasya. Pade Pade नूतन यन्न सीमां डबल ना नूतन यन्न सीमां कमा परात्म रूपिन् पवनेश पायाः एवं विदैश्चाद्भुतकेलिभेदैः आनन्दमूर्च्छामतुलां व्रजस्य पदे पदे नूतनयन्न सीमां परात्मरूपिन् पवनेश पायाः
एवं विदैश्चाद्भुतकेलिभेदैः आनन्दमूर्च्छाम् अतुलां व्रजस्य पदे पदे नूतनयन्न सीमां परात्मरूपिन् पवनेशपायाः एवं विदैश्चाद्भुतकेलिभेदैः मूर्च्छाम् अतुलां व्रजस्य पदे पदे नूतनयन्न सीमां परात्मरूपिन् पवनेशपायाः
एवं विदैश्च अद्भुतखेलिभेदैः आनन्दमूर्च्छाम् अतुलां व्रजस्य पदे पदे नूतनयन्न सीमां परात्मरूपिं पवनेशपायाः
sorry, the way you said the words are correct. Vidaischa adbhuta, but as the sandhi irukradhanaல it becomes vidaischaadbhuta. It will become together.
எங்க சொல்லுங்க சாரி
The first line. Evam vidaischaadbhuta.
சாத் ஓகே
So don't break அங்க adbhuta அப்படின்னு.
ஓகே एवं विजैश्चाद्भुत केलिभेदैः आनन्दमूर्च्छाम् अतुलां व्रजस्य पदे पदे नूतनयन्न सीमां परात्मरूपिन् पवनेशपायाः இங்க புக்ல இல்ல என் புக்ல வந்து அப்படிதான் விதைச்ச அப்புறம் அதை பிரேக் பண்ணிட்டு அப்புறம் அத்புத
I mean that is the right thing, but I think அது வந்து sometimes the cha and adbhuta becomes chaadbhuta. அப்படி generally they don't keep it separate. They always merge it. அவ்வளவுதான்.
ஓகே
பட் அந்த சான்ஸ்கிரிட் வெர்ஷன்ல பாத்தீங்கன்னா வசு அதுல சாத்புத்தன் போட்டிருப்பாரு.
ஆமா
Sanskrit they'll always combine it. They will not keep it separately.
Okay.
We'll stop the class here. सान्ध्रानन्दावबोधात्मकमनुपमितं कालदेशावधिभ्यां निर्मुक्तं नित्यमुक्तं निगमशतसहस्रेण निर्भास्यमानम् अस्पष्टं दृष्टमात्रे पुनरुरुपुरुषार्थात्मकं ब्रह्मतत्त्वं तत्तावद्भाति साक्षात् गुरुपवनपुरे हन्त भाग्यं जनानां कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि.